Viva la revolution, freedom at last. It's been more than half a century of tyranny the people of Cairo had to endure. It was brutal. The colonizers ruled with an iron fist. Merciless, their hearts as black as the pits of hell itself. Diabolic saints, the moniker given for their devious nature, used religion to hide wicked intentions. The darkest times seem like eternity, a loop you can't get out of. Alleviation is what Tilo had to master, it's what kept him sane. His heart is filled with loath, the struggle has brought unimaginable pain. A dark cloud has lifted, leaving many lives in ruins. The state of the country is in great peril, that's the price you pay for true freedom. Tears dripping down his flaky dry skin, he gives a heartfelt speech. People cheering, stumping their feet, screaming his name, he ends the monologue with "We are free at last, may it stay this way." Tilo has had this reoccurring dream for many years, in many ways it has kept him sane. Deja vu, that dream has finally come to life, precisely as he saw in his dream. He has seen this scene 1,000 times before. He's always been good with words, when he spoke people listened. The broken hearts and starving mouths of Cairo at times survived on the words he offered as the only hope to feed on. Many believe without him, the revolution would have run out of its breath. Who besides him knows what's best for the country? He's put his life at risk many times for them. His speech went on for 15 more minutes. In the midst of the silence, all you heard was the bold voice of Tilo. You could hear it from afar. His passion shook rocks and blew leaves off trees nearby. It was contagious, spreading to the thousands in attendance. He finished the speech by loudly shouting, "We are free at last, may it stay this way," only this time, it was not a dream. Stirred with bliss, everyone started clapping and chanting his name loudly. Some left in tears, overwhelmed by his presence. He could feel the trust they had in him, waving to his people. Aki, his right-hand man and lifelong friend, whispers to him, "We did it. We fought a war we could not win, and won. We are finally free, Tilo." Tilo responds, hugging him, "We did it, brother." Aki is a stoic man, a deep thinker, never letting his emotion come in the way of things. One would argue at times he was the most crucial person in the struggle, a genius, but was always happy playing a role in the background. Tilo, on the other hand, was irrational, behaving like a child at times. Aki was always there to keep him in check. Later that night, Tilo and Aki sit around the fire celebrating the long-awaited victory. "The end of a struggle and the start of another," says Tilo, throwing a stone into the dark. "Do you remember?" Aki chuckles. "Our first fight, even then I could tell you would be a warrior at just 10 years of age. Being I was 2 years older, that was a fight you could never win. But you just kept on coming, I even thought I'd have to kill you. Having a crowd there sparred you on. But then Mom showed up and I felt ashamed. Your mom treated me like one of her own. I was supposed to be your protector, your older brother, but instead I was the threat." Tilo bursts in laughter. "I remember how scared and horrified you were. On the other hand, I was angry, demanding, and expecting my mom would take my side to giggle away for a while." Aki responds, "She didn't. Instead, she fixed us a hot plate and gave us a pep talk. Don't fight yourself, nor your brother when there is already an enemy fighting the both of you," they both said in sync. "She would have been proud," Aki concludes wide with a smile. Tilo lights up a cigar. "Where do we even begin with this holy mess, Aki? Tell me. It's my inauguration day as president, but I fear I am just as lost, if not more, than the ordinary man walking the streets of Cairo, clueless regarding the next steps forward." Aki perplexed himself. "Well, we have the people's trust, that's a start. We are in for a hard time ahead," he says, stroking his chin. "Calm heads prevail, we've made it this far." Tilo cuts him off before he could finish his line. The country is in shambles, Aki. We ourselves have insufficient funds to provide. Well, I was getting to it. Zahari reached out. They'd like to help. Tilo, outwardly agitated by that thought. This country will be a slave no more. I don't want to work with those diabolic saints. Not after what they put us through. Tilo's heart was filled with hate. He did not want to hear the mention of Zahari. He continues, with ostensible rage on his face. Those bloody bastards. With a calming voice, Aki tries to reason with him. Zahari is a different country now. That regime did not only oppress its neighboring countries, but its people too. I'm not saying we should trust them, but let's not cut off our nose to spite our face. The fact that Zahari had a new democratic regime did not appear to change Tilo's mind. I don't care. Zahari is the reason we have this dilemma. They are a superpower because they stole from others for centuries. Why would we work with them? I would rather dine with the devil himself. The diabolic saints are the reason we are in this predicament. The new regime is trying to make amends. You forgive to set yourself free from the shackles of the past. Don't be selfish. Our people have starved a very long time. You are asking them to continue starving. They can only do it for so long. He answers hysterically. We are not working with Zahari. He walks out the compound, leaving Aki puzzled. He stands in a garden outside the compound, lost in his own thoughts. I will never work with those bastards, never. The nostalgic memories of his mother and younger sister flood his mind. They both died during the struggle. He remembers vividly how they were killed by the Zaharian soldiers. That moment left him cold-hearted. Aki is right though. What about the people, he thinks. He murmurs to himself. We will find a way. We have minerals. We will recover on our own. It is Inauguration Day. People are flooding the streets in celebration of the induction of their hero, Tilo. The nation is stuck in a state of bliss and fantasy. If a day could soothe many years of pain and suffering, it would be this one. Tilo walks to the stand to address the people. On his way, he and Aki lock eyes for a moment. They've been a bit distant lately. Aki had a disturbing sinking feeling regarding Tilo and what he would do next. His best friend, who he considers a brother, is quickly becoming a stranger. Aki is horrified. Tilo has become cold, angry, hateful, and self-absorbed. Almost expecting the whole world to make it up to him for the suffering he had to endure. Aki is hopeful that his assumptions are wrong. If not, everyone in this generation and the next are in jeopardy. Tilo has powers of persuasion. He can mesmerize with words. A dangerous skill that can build or kill without lifting a finger. Imagine what that can do with the authority of the president. Tilo gets to the stand and gives his speech. I have dreamt of this day since I was a little boy, the day of independence. As the president of the country, that I couldn't have imagined. I love you all so much. We have suffered, at times it seemed hopeless, but we are inexorable. He continues enthralling people's ears with his words. Aki listening warily to his carefully constructed monologue. He was conflicted. To him all he could hear was Tilo overpromising, saying everything the people wanted to hear. Getting people to agree with him by hiding the bitter truth behind his seductive statements. Aki feels a chill crawl up his spine. He knows Tilo is trusted profoundly by the people. How could they not? He along other comrades are the reason they are celebrating the freedom they speak of today. They will agree with every word he says. He can dictate what they think. On the other ends, he wonders if he's just jealous. Jealous that Tilo gets the praise for all the work they've done over the years. that perhaps he doesn't want to be in the background like he once thought he did. His inner voice is interrupted by Tilo's words. We don't need any help, especially from that thug nation Zahari. They can go to hell. Forgiveness is a necessary virtue, they told me. I suppose that's right, but in this instance I choose to be wrong. I will never forgive them, I want nothing to do with them. The murmuring from the crowd hints disagreement, but soon emotions take over. A loud cheer erupts from the thousands in attendance. They choose to side with their hero, they choose emotion over logic. Aki is concerned as he is disgusted. He always knew how to calm Tilo, he hopes he can still have the same effect on him. 11 years have passed. The optimism of freedom has died. The new reality is just as suffocating, if worse than it was in the old days. Many have become disillusioned. The heart of Karu has continued to suffer, while a handful of men have prospered. This is exactly what Aki feared and predicted. Tilo continuously rejects any help from Zahari and its allies. He has become an unhinged, paranoid, insecure, broken man. A once adored, passionate man has lived long enough to become a villain. The people have turned against him, including his close friend Aki. He is now isolated, lonely, surrounded by yes men, feared and lost. He has become what he was fighting all those years back. He himself has become a diabolic saint. Anyone who disagrees with him is assassinated. What he says is law. Fearing for their lives, Aki and a handful of others went into hiding. On a random day, Aki is captured lurking in the capital. Tilo ordered for him not to be harmed if arrested. He still had a soft spot for him. The soldiers take him to the president's compound. We found him in the inner city, Your Greatness. Is he armed? No, Your Greatness, we searched him. Leave us. Tilo was on his knees, visibly in pain. He laughed subtly. Your Greatness? Really? You enjoy that, don't you? We both could have been great. Look at this power, brother. You chose the streets, homeless, living off the enemy. Power? You need power to be great? How sad. Before the power, do you remember who you were? You maniac. I gave my life to this country, and what do I get in return? Ungrateful brats calling for me to step down. I will do with this country as I wish. The people elected me, I then decide what is good for the nation. If that makes me a maniac, great. A man should acknowledge his flaws, admit when he is wrong. That is a wise thing to do. Look at what you've done to this place. Your anger has consumed everything good in it. I see no mirrors around. The shame won't let you look at yourself? Tilo tries to hide his agitation. He knows Aki, he knows he's up to something. He has always been the smart one. Seeing Aki has him conflicted. Although he has become his biggest enemy, a part of him still loves Aki. He begins to have flashbacks. Listen to Aki. His mom used to say, which he never enjoyed hearing. Aki is deliberately provoking him, slowly closing the distance between them. It is not wise to insult me, Aki. It is not wise to betray the people who trusted you. He responds. He breaks down to tears. Under the weight of his anger, he rushes at Aki, grabbing him by the shirt. The people betrayed me. You betrayed me. Aki begins laughing hysterically, almost making a mocking of him. A bomb had been operated to his stomach, hence the pain. A small bomb, effective enough to blast and kill both of them. You are pathetic, so easy to manipulate. How are you president? I always knew your lack of composure would be the end of you. It was his plan all along to get caught. Aki shouting to Tilo's face. Kaoru deserves the taste of true freedom. We are free at last, may it stay this way. Sounds familiar? Well, the truth is Kaoru will never be free as long as you are still around. He pushes a button on the detonator in his hand. A loud blast is heard on the compound, both men reduced to pieces.